Welcome to another episode of What is Hashimoto's with Dr. Martin Rutherford. To find out more on any of our topics, or for information on scheduling a consultation with Dr. Rutherford, please visit us at whatishashimotos.com. And now, here's Dr. Rutherford.
Okay, can childbirth cause Hashimoto's? So the short answer is yes. The longer answer is here's how that happens. Okay, so the answer is yes. I would, in my patient population, over the years I've been in this, in my mind, as I look at all the people who come in and I listen to all of the triggers that are described in the patient history as they're giving it to me, I mean, pregnancy might be number one, but if it's not number one, it's definitely number two, behind stress responses. So it's huge. It's just like, it's a female patient walks in, she sits down, and then I say, okay, give me your story. When did this start? Well, it started after my, and they might not even know they have Hashimoto's when they came into me. They might just suspect it. And they go, it started after my third child, after the birth of my third child. It started after the birth of my first child. I'm like, that's enough. You got Hashimoto's. But seriously, what happens, there's a lot of things that happen there, okay? The first thing that has to happen is that mother has to have the genetics to develop Hashimoto's. You have to have, so somebody somewhere in your lineage has to have had some sort of thyroid problem. Now, today we know, and I keep quoting the Mayo Clinic, okay? But today we know that one of my mentors says, look, it's all Hashimoto's if you have a thyroid problem. Mayo Clinic, let's just go with the Mayo Clinic because everybody, they have credibility with a lot more people than maybe my mentor does. And they say 85 to 95% of hypothyroidism is Hashimoto's. So, okay, so usually you're gonna have somebody that has thyroid back in your family. And then you have your child. Now, and if you're compromised during that period of time, if you haven't been eating well, and if you're stressed, and if you're working too much, and if you're fighting with your husband and all that type of stuff, this all makes it more likely that you're going to be compromised enough so that when you start making antibodies, and this is a massive oversimplification of what happens, okay? All right, but you're compromised, you're carrying a baby, you're giving all your stuff, you're giving all your nutrients and so on and so forth to the child, and so your immune system is challenged, especially when you start making antibodies to give to the child. And so now, if you have the ability to you're making excess antibodies to give to the child. Again, for those of you who are in the field of immunology and all this type of stuff, I know this is a gross simplification, okay? But when you start making a lot of antibodies, and if you have the gene that says, I can get it, and you're compromised, and mom's compromised when she is, especially in the third trimester, when she's going to have a baby, then you can get, those antibodies can exacerbate your immune system to attack your tissues that your genetic code says can be attacked. If it's, and it's most of the time it's Hashimoto's. And I just suspect and there's probably data out there on this, but I mean, the thyroid is so metabolically active. You have to have thyroid hormone T3 in every cell in your body, every cell, for it to work right. Which is why if your thyroid's off, it affects everything. Everything goes. If it's up, if your thyroid's low, everything slows down. Your bowels slow down. Your hair starts falling out. You get constipation and so on and so forth. So basically, that's what happens. It is extremely common. Now, I've been to, for a variety of reasons, again, without getting into the physiology of it, if you are a new mom and you have had this phenomenon I've talked to occur to you, the academic and intellectual wisdom is you have to wait a year for the symptoms to go away, because there are a variety of other physiological mechanisms that could create a situation that makes it seem like you have Hashimoto's. But if you still have it after a year, then the likelihood is you've set off an immune attack against your thyroid. If you're getting the thyroid stuff going, you're putting on the weight, or the weight's not going away. I had 3 babies, and this time they went away the first 2 times, and now it's not going away. Or you're getting dry skin, or you're getting constipation that you didn't have before, or your hair is falling out, or you're getting edema around your ankles, you're fatigued, you can't think, you got brain fog. If you have that for a year, and you can last for a year without checking it out, if you have that for a year, then it's a lock that you developed an immune attack against your thyroid after childbirth. So childbirth is, like I said, it's the first or second biggest trigger. So that's the delineation. It's a trigger. And so childbirth just puts you in a situation where you become vulnerable, and you're making antibodies, and they're raising your immune response. And if you have the genetics, it's putting you in a situation where it has triggered an attack against your cells, because your genetics in your cells said it was okay to do. I think it covers it. I think it covers it pretty thoroughly for what we're looking for here.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of What is Hashimoto's? To find out more on any of our topics, or for information on scheduling a consultation with Dr. Rutherford, please visit us at whatishashimotos.com.